Hi guys, this is Shweta Shah from Medium Brains. I'm the lead machine learning mentor over here, and in this video, we'll be looking at another Python automation project. In this video, we'll be creating an auto weather update board, which for a selected city will be updating you about the weather condition of the city. So the name of the project is going to be an auto weather update board. Okay, so we will be making this using the automation of Python. So let me show you if I have to manually check the weather for any city and if I have to get the idea of what is going to happen on a particular day, what I will be doing. Okay, so let me quickly share my screen with you. Yeah, so let's say I want to see what is going to be the weather of Goa today. So I'll have to first of all go to Google, right? And then I'll have to search for weather in Goa or weather of Goa, whatever. Now, once I do so, see here on the Google page only, I see the weather condition of Goa. Now, I see that Goa is going to be a bit sunny today, right? Here you can see it is written sunny. Okay. After that, I can see the temperature of Goa is going to be around 31 degrees Celsius, and the wind is going to be 13 kmph, and the humidity is going to be 68%, which is quite more. But again, that is a coastal area, so that is completely justified. So this is the weather condition of Goa. Let's say now, if I want to see what is the weather condition of Delhi. So I just have to search weather in Delhi. And here the similar information about Delhi is given that it is going to be partially cloudy. The temperature over there is going to be 31 degrees Celsius again. The wind is 6 kmph, so it is very less windy. The humidity is 69% and so and so. Okay. So I have to create a board so that the board can also search for these kind of information and extract the weather conditions. For example, whether it is partially cloudy or maybe it is having thunderstorms or whatever. Let's search the weather condition of Kolkata because I reside in Kolkata. So it is going to have scattered thunderstorms throughout for right now. Then the temperature is 28 degrees. So the bot will be extracting these information only. That is, what is the weather condition, what is the temperature, what is the wind, what is the humidity, and etc. etc. Now, this bot is going to inform you about the condition. So once the information has been extracted, there will be an automated mail that once these information has been extracted or scraped by the bot will be sending these information through a mail to the people whom you list in the code. So your recipients can be 5, 10, 20, how many number of people you want, and to all those people, the given weather condition will be made through your code. Okay, so there are going to be two parts of the code. First part will be extracting the information. Second part will be sending the mails, the automated mails. Okay, so let's quickly get in the coding. So let me just jot down the steps first of all. So there are very less steps. The first step is opening Google. Okay. Second step is searching weather for a city. So you may be trying to get the city as an input from the user, and then for the given city, you do whatever you want to do. And the third is going to be extracting information. Okay. Now the fourth is going to be sending mail. Okay. So we'll be looking at the fourth part in the next part of the video. So we'll be talking about that in detail in the next part. Right now, let's just start with our coding. Let me quickly share my coding screen with you. For coding, I'll be working ahead with Sublime. If you want to wish to code in any other IDE, you're free to do so. So here I've already saved the notebook as weather.py. Now, the first thing I'll have to do is to import Selenium. What is Selenium? Selenium is an automation tool for Python using which we can give commands and instructions to our computer to accomplish some automated task. Automated task means the same task which we were doing manually, same task will be done by our machine. Okay. So I'll be importing, okay, wrong place to edit, over here. From Selenium import WebDriver. So WebDriver is a module, but we will also be needing the WebDriver app. And for the because I'm going to be using Google, so I'll be needing Google's WebDriver, which is Chrome driver. What is Chrome driver? Chrome driver establishes a condition between my laptop, between my machine and the internet, so that whatever instructions we will be giving through Selenium, they will be implemented on the internet on whatever page you want. Okay. So let me quickly take Chrome driver as well. For that, I'll have to write webdriver.chrome, and here I have to pass the path of Chrome driver. So Chrome driver as a string. Okay. Now, if you're wondering how did I install and downloaded Sublime or Selenium or Chrome driver, there is a separate video on that where I have discussed these things. I'll be linking that video in the description. You can check it out from there. Okay. Now, this particular line of code will be returning me a blank Google tab. So what I'll have to do, I'll have to give it a name so that I can refer the tab in my code, because whatever we'll be doing on that tab only. So let's name it browser. Okay. Now let me just run this and see if it is working or not. Okay. So Let's see what is happening here. Yeah, it is opening a blank tab. Now what I have to do, I have to give the address of Google so that it opens that link, right? So let me just copy that from here. Just one second. The home page of Google, this particular page. Okay. So let me just copy this quickly. Now I want in this blank browser, this link to be opened. For that, I'll have to use the dot get function, which opens any URL, whatever you're trying to, URL of any page you're trying to open. Okay. So let me just run this and see what is appearing here. So this is opening the homepage of Google. Now my task is to set whether in any city, whatever city's name is there, whether in the city or in this particular taskbar, in this particular input place, okay? And then I have to click enter button. These are the two tasks which I have to do so that the weather information of the particular city is shown. So to send anything through my code to this box, I have to see how this box is stored in the home source code of Google's page. Okay, so that you have to inspect. So you can click on Control Shift I or right click and inspect. I mean, you have to right click and then inspect. Okay. Now let me quickly come here. Now, so here you can see I have got this particular button. Let me zoom in a bit. Yeah. So you have to select this button and then now whatever element you will hover over, the corresponding code of this element will be shown on the right side of your screen. Okay. Now I want to see how this box is stored. So let me come here. Now, if I click this, you can see this is nothing but an input element. Okay. So this is an input element of HTML. So through my code, I have to write something that in this input element, which has so and so class, in this element, I want to send something. Okay. Now, if you want to access any element of the page through your code, you have to use the X part of the code of the element. Okay. So what is X part? X part is like an address. I have also discussed about this in my previous course related to automate with Python. So you can check it over there as well. But it is an address using which you will be figuring out the element in your page. How do you write the X part? The syntax is very simple. You give two slashes, then you give the name of the element. Okay. And then you give square bracket and at the rate. Then the name of the attribute of the element. The attribute is like a property to the element. Okay. So if I just simply say that find me an input element, there might be other input elements as well. So you have to mention something unique to this element so that the code recognizes which input element you're talking about. So for this particular element, let's say if I'm gonna talk about class, so I'll have to mention class equal to the value of class. That means here I have to mention the name of the attribute equals to the value of the attribute and then close the square bracket. This is all. This is how you create the X part of your element. Okay. Now let me quickly do the same in our code. So in our code, I'll be writing the X part of this particular element so that my code can access it. So let me quickly go to my coding page. So my element was an input element, right? So let's write double slash input and here goes, sorry, not like this, square bracket and then at the rate. And after this, I have to mention the class equals to this. So I'll just copy it from here and just paste it in my code like this. Okay. This whole thing has to be a string. So let me just put it as a string. Now the function which will be helping me is x find element by x path. Okay, so for that, let's write browser dot find element by x path. Okay, and now just give the brackets and all. Now this will be returning us the box. So let me just write box equals to this. So this box variable name will be pointing towards that input box. And now because I have to send the query, so let me just write box dot send keys. This send keys will be sending any input from your keyboard to the element. Okay, and let me just send the query. Now I have to create the query here. For that, let me just store the city name in a variable separately. You can also take the city name from the user so that it is more in a way communicating with the user and you're giving more accurate results. Now I'll have to create the query. The query is gonna be first it is gonna be whether in and then I have to put the city. That means I have to concatenate it and how do we concatenate strings? We use the plus sign. And over here I also print this query so that you can see what is being sent to the box. Okay. Now let me run this much so that we can see whether we are going on the right track or not. So here the page has opened. And if you see whether in Kolkata has been sent there, I have to add a space over there. But apart from that, it has been sent there. Now, what do we generally do? Once we have written, we just click on the enter button, right? So I have to click on the enter button using my code. I cannot do it manually, right? Let me first add a space here, and you can see this was the message, the query which was sent to the box. Okay. Now, once this is sent, I have to send and enter response to the box as well. So how do you access any button on the keyboard? You use the keys module. So you have to import from Selenium, from Selenium dot web driver dot common dot keys. We import keys module. Using this module, you can access any key on the keyboard. Okay. And how do you access or how do you send the enter key? You have to write keys dot enter. The key name of the key will be all in caps. So enter has to be on in caps. Now let me just run this and see how is it working. So here you can see whether in Kolkata was given and then the enter was clicked. Okay, similarly you can click the shift button or the escape button, whatever you want to do, you can do in the same way. Now once we are at this stage, my task is going to be extracting the information which we are interested in. Okay, so let's first try to extract this weather condition. Okay, so let me just zoom in a bit. 1 second. Let me maximize it first. Now, again, to extract this information, I have to see how this information is stored in the page. For that, let me just click on this particular button over here. And if you can see, let me zoom in a bit. This information is actually a text inside the span element, a span element whose ID is this one. So first I have to reach to the span element and get the text of it. Okay. So let me just write this code. From here, I'll just copy this ID so that I can access this element. Okay. So I'll just type browser. You can copy it from the top as well. Browser dot find element by XPath. Now we are trying to find the span element. Span element whose ID is so and so. Okay. And this span element holds the information as a text. So to access the text, you have to write .text, dot text. Okay. Now let's store it somewhere. Let's just write w_c for weather condition. And once extracted, let's just try to print this. Okay. Let's see, or let me just change it to some other city so that we can see how does it work for other cities. Okay. So it is opening Google, then sending the thing, and now it must have extracted the information. Yes. So you can see over here it is sunny, and over here in this page as well it was sunny. So we are able to extract the weather information. Now let's just see how other information such as the temperature, the wind, and the humidity. We are interested in these three things. So let's see how these informations are stored. Let's first look at the temperature. So this temperature, if you see, is again a span element, and the class is also given. Okay. So again, it is also stored as the text. So the same way we did in our previous case, we'll be doing in this case as well. So let me do one thing. Let me just a second. Yeah, let me copy this thing. Okay, so that I only change a bit of the things, and we can extract the temperature from here. It is going to be a span element as well, but the ID is going to be WOB_TM. So I'm just copying the ID from there, and I'm just going to paste it over here. Okay. And let's just try to run this and see if it is working fine. It will just take a couple of seconds or maybe 10 seconds. Okay. It has opened now. You can see sunny is printed and the weather, the temperature 31 degrees is also printed. Now we have to extract the humidity and wind. Now this time I'll be extracting both the information and then only I'll be running it. Okay. So let's just come here and let's just see how these information has been stored. So if you notice, this particular div, this particular div is holding the three rows for precipitation, for humidity, and for wind. Inside this div, there are three different divs. And if you see, if I move divs over here, the particular row of the page is also, being highlighted. So inside this div, there are three different divs. The second one is for humidity and the third one is for wind. Okay. So I have to reach to this div. From there, I have to go down to this div for humidity. Let's talk about humidity. So I have to go to this div for this particular class. So let me just copy this and let me just start creating the XPath. Here we will have to use a nested XPath. That means from one element will be coming down to another element. Let me do that over here. So this is a div element which we are talking about, whose class is this. Now inside this div element, we have to go to the second div element, right? For that, over here, I'll be writing div 2, okay, inside square brackets. Now after that, where do I have to do? Have to go inside the second div element. There is a span element, and the humidity is stored as the text of this span element. Okay, so inside the second div, I have to go to the span, and the text of it is gonna be the humidity. Okay, Let me just store it as H for humidity. Let me just print the value of H. And after that, let's just do the same thing for the wind part, and then I'll just run this. Okay. So let's see how the wind is stored. So here, just see. Yeah. So wind. So inside this div, the wind row is the third div. Inside the third div, there is one span, and then there is another span. Okay. That means I'll have to come to third div, then inside a span in the first span. There are two spans, so we are interested in the first span. So let me write the XPath. So I can use the same XPath here because I'll have to just change a bit of it. Let's just store it as W for wind. Okay. Inside the third div, I have to come. And inside this span, I have to go down to the first span. Earlier, there was no internal spans in the case of humidity, but here it is. And let me just let me just print this W value so that all the values will be printed. Okay, let me just run this and see how is it working. Okay, Google is opening up. Yeah. So I guess we have got what we wanted. So the weather condition is given, the temperature is given in Celsius, then the humidity is given, and the wind speed is also given. Now let's try for any other city. Let's just try for Lucknow. Okay. Let's just run this and see what is happening. Okay. It's taking some time, maybe my poor uh, internet connection, but it has appeared. So here, if you just compare, so the fog is the weather condition, the humidity is 80%, wind is 8 kmph, and temperature is 31. So here you can see fog 31, 80%, and 8 kmph has been printed. So this is all for the first part. Let us actually see if we completed all the steps. So the first thing we did, we opened Google. After that, we searched for the city using sending the query and the clicking on the enter button. And after that, we extracted the information. Now, in the next part, we will be seeing how can we send an automated mail as an update for the weather condition. Okay, so let's meet in the next part. Thank you.